Hey everybody, it's the morning cryptos, and people are people are pissed about Bitcoin. Just so you know. hmm It's the morning cryptos. There's a reason why the most heavily exchanged crypto right now on the Shapeshift exchange is from Bitcoin to Litecoin. After this past weekend, I mean, I know my friends are all like, yeah, screw this Bitcoin thing. Like, if I can't make a transaction and it doesn't go through for days, or I can't do anything with it, and I just have to sit and watch helplessly as my my money is hung up in an exchange or whatever, uh, what's the point of having it? And yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I say the hypnosis of money, because people will respond and react in their perceived best interest. And when it happens by the millions, when it happens by the billions, we have mass movements. So it all boils down to what's going on the ground, and this is the experience of one user who is relatively new to the space, and I think his name is Eric Voorhees, mentioned in a YouTube video. I'll see if I can find it before the cryptos are done. He mentioned that the people in the crypto industry need to remember that the vast majority of users of crypto, of all crypto, are new users.
We've had a million issues. Yeah, we have issues every day, things we got to take care of and fix. And some of the issues are our own software. Some of the issues are the blockchains themselves, and we then become like the steward and the mechanic of the blockchain itself. And this has been true of Bitcoin. This has been true of Ethereum. This has been true of almost everything that we've plugged into. They all have their different eccentricities, and we're using the node software for these coins on a scale that generally the developers have never used or been able to test before. So for example, Shapeshift is about 2% of all the Bitcoin transactions in the world right now. And the number of transactions we do per day, and the issues that causes with the fees we have to pay, and whenever blocks start getting full, 1,000 support tickets can immediately open up from people who didn't get their transaction processed when they thought. And on the Ethereum side, like these ICO transaction spikes have just been like horrible for the user experience. And because this industry is growing, most users are new. And this is something a lot of people don't realize, is that as long as we are doing our jobs well and this industry is growing, the majority of people using this technology will be new to crypto. So there needs to be really a good focus and attention paid to taking care of those people and welcoming them in, and understanding their issues and not dismissing them just because they're not, highly technical.
Right? And so the currency that gets the new user experience the best and is sustainable is going to be the one that walks away and changes the world. And that's unfortunately the evolutionary process, right? And it's an oversimplification to say that evolution is the survival of the fittest. Sometimes it's the survival of the most practical. So let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the charts. Litecoin. I just love drawing my line here on Litecoin. This resistance line. I just love doing that. And I love drawing the stair steps, right? And again, this is like pretty much any other investment, in that you want to look for the places that are underappreciated, right? And get into them before everybody else does. And then when everybody else rushes in, then you take your profits, right? That's the trader's mindset, right? So there it is. Right now, 64.146 on this chart, and let's look at the 1 hours. Look, we have a little double top here. Not a good time to get in, right? As if you could time it, right? But at the moment, I mean, as of yesterday, Bitcoin transactions were working again because I guess the miners all came back to Bitcoin after doing a little moonlighting over at Bitcoin Cash. And if that keeps happening, both of those currencies will destroy each other. I just think, and so anyway, Litecoin on the 1 minutes. We're seeing some profit taking right now by the bots or by people, and that will happen up and down. So there you have it. Litecoin has made significant moves, but we'll see. Bitcoin, I don't think, has gone down yet. We'll see this. I haven't looked at the charts yet. Yeah. My gut right here is that Bitcoin's going to have a significant retracement if people can actually sell it and get out of it. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch this chart in the next few days. And maybe, maybe SegWit will actually come in and save the day. I think that was naive thinking on my part from last week, thinking, oh, wow, SegWit, cool. People were having SegWit parties, and it just got horrible after that. So, but it wasn't SegWit, it was the whole Bitcoin Cash thing, as far as I understand. All right. So on the 1 hours, Bitcoin's kind of hanging on, holding its own at 43. And again, I don't recommend getting in at this point. If it suddenly drops to 24, yeah, I might throw a little back in and see what happens. But it's like at this point, I'm so disgusted, right? It's going to take something. It's going to take something to win me back, right? And again, that's what I'm just trying. I'm not trying to bitch and moan or be a victim or a whiner. I'm trying to kind of demonstrate on camera something that's probably happening in millions of people's minds. And I think that's a service, hopefully a service to the entire community that, hey, we're not going to pretend we're happy if we're not. And that's healthy. That's positive feedback. That's a feedback loop that is useful. And if the miners go, if we do this nonsense, we're going to lose everything, then they'll stop, right? Or they'll find a different way. Or some miners will go, you know what, I'm just going to mine Bitcoin Cash from now on, and we're not going to have this back and forth stuff, whatever. Anyway, Ethereum is making its climb, and in some ways, I think, these charts. Okay, there we go. Some ways, I think Ethereum's, steady re-rise to where it was is healthy. And we'll see if Ethereum can get their stuff together and work out all of their challenges to the blockchain size. I mean, it's like these blockchains fill up. That's my newbie, non-technical understanding. The blockchains, the blocks fill up. And then you got to have more, but there's limits and there's stuff we don't understand that makes it work, but at the same time makes it get congested. All right, so 341. It's had it made a move up to 352, and now this is the 1 hour chart. We're back. It's retracing, but if you look at these, the bottoms are mostly higher. And if you kind of discount the blips, because there's always going to be blips, and that's where the trading bots get in. They see a signal like here's a sideways trading range where there was kind of an upper limit. And these little sideways trading ranges, where the bottoms are coming up but the tops are staying the same, you can't get better indicators of an imminent move from that. And if you only traded that, as I've said before, you'll probably do okay. But what happens is we try to trade it here, and then maybe the timing is screwed up, so we end up buying here when we wanted to buy here, and then that's when we get hosed, and people are not very forgiving of that. I know I'm not. It pisses me off. I want to be able to get in when I want to get in so that I can follow my plan. And there you go. That's the 30 minutes. And I have a little Ethereum, but I'm not actively going after it right now because I just have to see. I have to see if they can solve their problems. I'm not just a technical trader. Sometimes I want to know that the fundamentals are in place as well. Dash just was cranking, hit 400, right? And of course, it's going to take a little step back because it's cranking. People are pouring into Dash because it's working, right? And will Dash get all clogged if there's gazillions of millions of people? It may be a problem with all blockchains. It may, like when the automobiles first started becoming economically viable, there was the internal combustion engine. There was the Stanley steamer. I think there were electric cars, and there was a shakeout. The steam car just wasn't practical, right? This might be the steam car. Steam engines are still used, and the principles of steam engines are still applicable and still work. The same basic principles, are still working. But no one has a steam engine in their car, right? Some of the principles went into jet engines. Some of the principles went into huge power plants and turbines and stuff like that. But no one has a steam engine in their car, right? So that's where we are. And it's messy. The shakeout time is messy. And people, inventors, and people who are following a specific path get slammed a lot of times in the shakeout period. And that's been the story of technology all along. And it's not always pretty. And again, the end user is ruthless. The end user doesn't care. The end user just wants to get in his car and go to the grocery store where all the food is that he needs, get it, go back to his house. He doesn't care that food has traveled from all over the world. Doesn't care how hard it is to keep those shelves stocked or to keep the food fresh. And all the things that have to happen so that food is on the shelves or that his car can actually go to any gas station and get gas, and those are things the end user takes for granted after a while because they're done so well. And that's ultimately kind of the goal. You can debate whether it's good or not, but anyway, Dash, I got a ton of Dash right now, and it went up in price because I got it down here. And you don't have to be a math genius, because I'm not, to be able to go, oh, buy low, sell high, right? The general public buys high and then sells low in a desperate attempt at not being wiped out. And I don't want to see that happen. I have a feeling it's going to happen. And not just in this space. I think it might happen everywhere, which is why I came into this space, because I wanted to find a way to protect myself and my family, right? Think about that. Multiply me by millions. And here's Litecoin again. The little currency that could. All right, so we'll see. And the 1 hours, 30 minutes. Yeah, I mean, on the 30 minutes, it's making a new push, right? It's gunning for 65. It looks like it touched 65. Yeah, well, it did in the last minute, almost 64.9. So it's going to gun. You know it's going to gun for 65 because that's the mind. The human mind judges and evaluates things by round numbers because that's how we work. This is the Hypnosis of Money, people, the morning cryptos. And if you liked any of this, I would really appreciate you subscribing. Sorry, my energy is a little low today because it's kind of a Monday morning, and I made a bunch of videos yesterday, and I was pretty worked up. And so if you want to see me all worked up, check out the videos from yesterday. And this is all my personal opinion. There's no intention here to give any financial advice or any of that kind of stuff, just to demonstrate one human being attempting to understand a brand new world so that he can communicate it to his friends and family in a way that keeps them safe. That's what I'm trying to do. And if I could make a little money in the process, that would be awesome. However, money isn't the thing that motivates me. Learning, transformation, change, the human condition, those things are things I'm fascinated with. And that's really what this is all about. So I look forward to seeing you again. We'll see what else I do later in the day. There's some crypto coin thought leaders that I want to introduce you guys to because I think they're helpful. And I think I may do a series on some of the people that I've kind of found as I've been looking through the haystack of YouTube for the needles of intelligence and helpfulness. And I want to share some of those guys with you because I think that's a service. And speaking of Litecoin, I just got my first, someone sent me a link to a Litecoin Ponzi scheme. So keep an eye out for those people. If it says it's a mining thing and it's free, please be suspicious. There is no free lunch here. If there is a legitimate Litecoin mining operation that I can buy hash in, I'm interested. But please don't send me Ponzi schemes, people. I really appreciate the fact that hope springs eternal. But I did my exploration of them. If you want to watch the first couple of weeks of this challenge, if you want to dig back through and see my experience and my initial exhilaration turning to horror and disgust, feel free. But please, I'm not going to click your links, and I'm not going to tell anybody else about any specific programs that you guys are all trying to get me to jump on. So if you want to be a part of the community and the discussion, that's fine. I'm not looking to jump into any Ponzi schemes or scams. All right. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I appreciate, the idea that people are just trying to make something happen. They're trying to find a way to turn their money into more value so that they can have the kind of life that they want instead of being cubicle slaves. And ultimately that comes back down to the real reason why we're all doing this is we're looking for a better way. And there is a power structure in this world that benefits from people being, good little workers in the fast food restaurants of the world. And I don't know, that bothers me. I don't like it. And I want the human being to be free. I don't know if that's possible. I think a lot of people, the majority, the masses, tend to be pretty slack when it comes to thinking, when it comes to taking charge of their own thoughts. And they want somebody to tell them what to do, but they also love to hate the person that tells them what to do. And that is from the writings of Carlos Castaneda. So none of this is new, people. The ancient seers understood the human condition pretty clearly, and it hasn't changed in spite of all our gizmos, all our cell phones, all our computers, all our cars, all our airplanes, all our shiny, high office buildings, all of our gambling palaces in Las Vegas and Dubai. We are still humans. We are still looking for love. We are still looking for connection. We are still looking to take care of our families and to live a decent life before we leave this world. So a little philosophy for you on a Monday morning. Oh, man. I do feel satisfied that I called Litecoin correctly, and hopefully Litecoin will serve us well. And I will keep watching Bitcoin, and hopefully the miners and the devs and the users and the community, we can all come together and, make history in a positive way. But there we go. I'll see you folks the next time, the next video I make. This has been The Morning Cryptos. Someone please start the music.